It's exactly what I thought. Going into this, I've been saying all along, this was never about putting on a better show than AEW. This was
Nope.
never about putting on a show next to AEW that was going to outpace what they do. I think this was about trying to get coverage on their show and get word of mouth on their show, trying to get searches on this show over searches for AEW. And in that vein, it worked.
Yep.
I met my dad for breakfast Saturday. My dad does not watch wrestling. And he was like, "Hey, so WWE's coming to ESPN, right?" I said, "Yeah." And he's like asking me questions about it. He's like, "I know, the woman's back and she's wrestling with her husband. That's why they did this, because those casual fans and like people outside of wrestling paying attention to their product, that's who they're trying to get. They're not trying to get people that watch AEW to not watch AEW to watch their show. They're trying to expand their brand by moving to a bigger outlet and getting more word of mouth around their shows. And in that vein, it worked.
Yeah. Phil, we're in the wrestling business, and this last 2 weeks is probably the most advertisements I've seen on WWE
Yes.
on other things. Like just
They're-
like randomly Facebook, Instagram, whatever app that I'm on, it's some WWE on ESPN advertisement.
Absolutely. I think AEW by far had the better show, but the show that was advertised on SportsCenter throughout the week, and they were showing clips on like the SportsCenter page and all this other stuff, that was WWE. That was by design. And so I don't think that what they were attempting to do failed, because we have different ideas of what they were trying to do.
Right.
I do think by putting both of these shows next to each other, it emphasized what AEW does better than them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the people that care about that are mostly people like us that are already AEW fans.
I already knew that. Yeah.
I don't think that it made WWE's product look necessarily good, because coming out of All Out, because All Out was the better show, like I said, hands down. And the style of wrestling that is on an AEW show is just so different. When you come from the high of that Kyle Fletcher Hangman match and then turn on Brock versus Cena, it's night and day. I think that annoyed me even more with the Brock match, because it's just like, after watching how good wrestling is on the other channel, and then you turn to this, and it's like, you want me to care about this? No, I don't care about this. And it felt that way through most of the show. I felt like most of this show did not live up to the in-ring product that AEW put on Saturday. Not even close.
Not even in the same ballpark. They seem like two different things. Like when they eventually tag an AJ, and then she slowly gets in and she poses, and it's just like a different energy. Different products. This is completely different products.
It's different products. And like I said, from my personal taste in wrestling, having these things next to each other, it emphasizes what I like about AEW and what I am personally not enjoying about WWE. But that doesn't matter to them.
Doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter to them. I think they're going to look at this weekend as a win, because in their minds, they're like, look, we made AEW move. We got the optic of making the move, and we got all of the press out of this. We got all of the coverage. We got the word of mouth and the positive buzz of being on ESPN. So I don't think that this backfired, to answer the question from earlier.
No,
I don't think this backfired at all.
Even the negative press, I think, Phil, of people not being able to log on, of people blah blah blah, the switch, all of that is good for them. They're talking about them.
They're still going to point to the metric that look at how searched Wrestlepalooza was that day.
Right.
Yep. Now I think that's flawed, but again, I'm not the target for what they're trying to do. I think that this weekend confirms what I've been saying all year, that AEW is having a better year. Currently, their product is better. They're in a better place creative. Their in-ring is much, much better at the moment. But the loyal WWE fan base, they don't care about none of that. They're going to keep watching. They're going to keep watching this, and they're going to tell you that Wrestlepalooza was fine and they enjoyed it. It doesn't matter to them. And so that's
I saw a
why
lot of people being like Stephanie and EO's the best match of the weekend, best friend. Like it does nothing that AEW does over there is going to change people's minds.
it's not gonna change. Like the people that are already locked in for AEW, they're gonna watch. The people that are already locked in for WWE and they're loyal fans, they're gonna watch this and they're gonna feel like they got what they wanted out of Wrestlepalooza. And then also they're gonna get to tee hee about this optic that haha, we made AEW move.
So whatever they set out to do, they did it.
Yeah, but I don't think it's close. What was the better show on Saturday? And I don't think it's been particularly close all year. I think the AEW's run of pay-per-views this year has been miles better.
And I think that WWE saw that they don't need to have the better wrestling show. And that the winning for them is not we have the better wrestling show that weekend.
What I will say is the good thing on AEW side is that what I initially thought as well of why it was the right call to just not even try to play their game, move your pay-per-view to the afternoon, run your race, cater to your audience, and the rest will fall into place. There's so much positive buzz from the fan base to people that like AEW.
Yep.
And I think that matters more than trying to go head to head with a company that you're not going to beat at the moment. They've got this, the deck is stacked in their favor. You're not going to beat them in a lot of the metrics that they care about. But right now it's important to give someone like Statlander the win and show your loyal fan base like, yeah, we do care about pushing day one talent and we do care about upward momentum in the women's division. I
think pays off to watch our show. You will be rewarded for watching our show.
Yes, I think that like that was one of the big takeaways from All Out, that your patience in some of these storylines and the development and growth of some of these people will be rewarded. And so I think there's a lot of positives to come out of Saturday for AEW. But I think if people are just going to put like the numbers and the metrics up, it's not going to be an AEW favor. But that's by design. They want it to look that way. And it's why it to me, that kind of stuff is going to be what it is. And that's why I'm like, when people like Backfire, it depends on how you're looking at it. I think if you're looking at it like from a critical stance, yeah, I don't think that it looked great to have your product next to AEW's product. But I don't think that's going to matter in the long run to WWE.
Because I think a lot of people didn't even know there was an AEW show happening because there's a WWE show happening. And that's the win. Yeah,
that's why they want to do that. Like the biggest talking point in the wrestling world is WWE debuted on ESPN streaming app.
Yep.
AJ Lee returned on ESPN streaming app.
Team with her husband on the ESPN streaming app.
John Cena wrestled Brock Lesnar again on ESPN's platform. It doesn't matter if the match was good. That's all stuff that all of us that are in the bubble are talking about, that this sucked. It's on the app and it's being talked about. That's all they care about.
Yep. Probably show clips of it on Sports Center. Like, I don't fuck that it sucked. I saw Brock Lesnar F5 John Cena.
Yep.
Oh, you thought it sucked? Oh, damn. That sucks. Oh, man. People thought that match sucked.
Bro, like, just like I said, Chris wrote an article for Bleacher Report. Guess what? You're covering WWE and covering this match that you think wasn't good and a reception to John Cena's farewell tour during an AEW pay-per-view weekend.
That's it right there. Yeah. Yep.
Which is what I've told you guys.
You're
from the beginning.
Covering a shitty match when you should be covering a not shitty match. You're still covering the match.
Which is what I told you guys from the beginning was the attempt here was to shift coverage to them. So, and I do think they're going to continue to do things like this. I know that a report came out that they don't have plans to counter program any other AEW pay-per-views this year, but I do think they're going to try and do it again next year.
Yeah. This isn't over. They might not have plans, but that don't mean it ain't going to happen, because it's definitely going to happen.
But I do feel good about AEW's product.
Same here.
I do think AEW had a good weekend. I am excited about a lot of stuff moving forward with the company. I think that's a good thing. On the other hand, I have been pretty bored with WWE's weekly product. I think creative has not been great. I think this has been Triple H's worst year as a booker.
And I think the worst part about this is it's not just you, Phil. I've seen like diehard WWE fans saying the same thing. They're like, it's fun, there's spectacle, there's all these things, there's return, there's AJ Lee, but like this week to week stories have not been great. They're all saying this is his worst time as booker. Like it's a consensus, and that's not what you want coming out of these weekends.